And welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Men and Now Val. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts, where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete. A very good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review Raw, one of the final stops on the road to Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's a good L. Not great in ring, but that's never a problem. There's too much to that anyway. Not great finishes. Bad week for finishes. I wasn't terribly keen on the undercard angle advancement. Love the stuff top and tail in it.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely love the main event stuff. War Games has played its trick and cast its spell yet again. I think there's been one good one ever in WWE history.
Charmed you?
Charms me every year. And yet, the way that they approach it and the way that there's 4 or 5 of them. There's 4 or 5 of them. 2 cages, that's double 1. I just get worked into thinking it's going to be the match of all matches all over again.
Even though it's very rarely the case.
One time.
Yeah.
One time. Genuinely, I think one time. I even think they're like WCW, you'd get bollocks on the forums to saying ones are overrated. Say for 1 or 2. I think loads of them are like a real slog. And there's only been one really good WWE one. But that has worked a treat on me. Rest of the show left quite a lot to be desired, I thought.
I've got, sometimes, usually I like to punch up. That's the rule of comedy.
Yes. Yeah.
As opposed to AEW's new rule of comedy, where if you do something, a menial task in slow motion, it's automatically a stitch, which is not funny. But one of the very various rules of comedy is that you shouldn't punch down.
Yeah.
I sometimes have a cruel sense of humor, okay? Maybe it's just a defense mechanism, right?
Definitely.
I noted with interest, and later with Schadenfreude, that my esteemed colleague, Michael Hamflett, went full stand-up for the Fed on X/Twitter last night. You can follow him there.
Cody got me in the mood. Cody got talking about The Rock. I was like, God, I love this
So Hamflett on X/Twitter last night stands up for WWE, absolutely loving his life. He's basically going on like, it's February 2020 AEW.
I was watching Superstars on another screen while I was
it's like sort of June, July, WCW 1996. It's All Japan in 1990.
Fed brackets general.
It's New Japan Pro Wrestling, and any time between 2012 and 2019 because it was absolutely goated. And he's like, it's just the best. I love all the characters. I'm jealous of everyone who goes to the arenas. I want to buy a ticket, and then they deliver that show last night. There wasn't a show. There was some good stuff. It was just so dull, and some of the wrestling was so bad, and the heat was just non-existent. And just, to get away from Hamflett, we don't want to bury my colleagues so much. Genuinely, right? You could, the old cliched analogy of the person in the coma wakes up after 3 years, and they say, are you comfortable? You have to brace yourself for some information here. And the person's thinking, oh my God, 3 years, what have I missed? Well, unfortunately, Timmy, WWE got hot. I know, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. It's an evil corporation, but, unfortunately, they got hot. And, Timmy, the wrestling fan, Timmy Freakazoid Esquire, is going, no, but AEW is still good, right? I don't know about that. I do not know about that, Timmy. Domestic business is soft, and there's a bit of a terrible vibe lingering over AEW, and the booking's gone a bit not great, and it feels like it's a bit of a 4-year itch thing going on. So, all right, okay, lay it on me. I'm gonna have to watch this hot WWE product. Here you go, Timmy. Press play, and Timmy would go, huh? How's this hot? How is this hot? It's not hot. The main event stuff was good.
Oh, yeah.
I did think there was a certain development that was like, that just happened then. And I'm talking about something that you'll have to stick around to find out. There's a certain thing where I'm like, they usually do way more pageantry with something like that. But look, if you like the main event scene, I can understand why you thought this Raw might have verged on passable, but I really thought it was poor, like really poor. And I've gone like this. I've held my hands up over the past however many months and thought, you know what? Still not the thing for me format-wise. Still very soulless. But my goodness, what an amazing job this promotion is doing of engaging its base. This just felt crap in syndication. City Jones.
It felt a very forgettable episode of Monday Night Raw. Like, I guarantee in a couple of weeks, the only thing I'll remember on this show is obviously the Drew McIntyre turn. And
We were saving that for retention.
It's very rare that you nowadays say it felt like an episode where, aside from the Drew stuff, they were kind of just spinning their wheels.
I honestly think it was down to the finishes.
Yeah.
Like, quietly.
The wheel spinning finishes.
The wheel spinning finishes. Well, the lack of finishes. Like, WWE have gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Like, not all the time. It's still WWE. But if you compare them to the Raws of old, the Raws of Vince McMahon, where you were guaranteed a minimum of one non-finisher show, you just simply would not have a week where it was like, oh, there was actually pinfall submissions and winners and losers in every single match. They have sort of quietly gotten away from that. And this week was a return. Relatively speaking, yeah. And it was just, there was a lot of WWE tropey stuff. Again, it's wheel spinning because everything has been so set up. But the point of, like, I've been very much in favour of Triple H's plotting. But the point of that plotting is to, like, have, oh, well, so this character's focusing on this right now, but they've also got this coming next. Like, that's been one of his success stories this year. The point of that is that you never need to have a week where they've got nothing to do.
It made me very relieved that Survivor Series isn't 6 weeks after Crown Jewel.
Like, the whole idea with that is that, well, it's not just who you're feuding with right now, it's that little breadcrumbs are, there for the next feud and the rival after that, or there's a championship you want to fight for. So it's like, well, I'm also going to mention this guy in a program. Sami Zayn's been a great example of that lately, right? And I just think this week felt like, everybody's got kind of their one job, they're doing their one thing, and if you're not involved in anything else, tough tits, and you're just going to get this kind of like bland makeshift segment. There was quite a bit of that.
So the show opened with Cody Rhodes coming out. What do you guys want to talk about? He said he had lots of wonderful memories in the arena, and he's going to give the fans another one when him and Jay win the tag team titles back. And he introduces his teammates.
What was the arena?
It was Washington.
It was the first Dynamite.
All right, okay. Can you make it dirty? Do a little juvenile pun.
I don't know.
Capital One?
Capital One.
Capital Cum, more like.
Good. Very good.
He introduced his teammates for War Games. Main event, Jey Uso. I might buy the Yeet t-shirt.
Here, right.
Don't look at me for approval.
I don't know if I mentioned this before. I'm a Jey Uso guy.
Yep.
I'm
a Jimmy Uso guy.
I'm kind of too, actually. Yeah. But the one thing I just thought you're not ever getting that over, ever, is that stupid T-shirt drop-down punch thing he does. Well, he is getting it over. So shut my mouth. He is 100% perfect, actually.
Jey Uso, Jey Uso comes out, Sami Zayn, and of course, Seth Rollins. Sick naked! Crowd all loving it. All singing that song of his.
All singing that song.
My eyes are up here.
Rhodes says they're all there because of Judgment Day. And there's a nice, acknowledgement between Rhodes and Uso, Rhodes and Zayn, and a bit of tension, obviously, with Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And then out comes Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and technically JD McDonough, although this doesn't apply till later on, but collectively, they're in the Judgment Day. And there was no Rhea Ripley. And Finn says, you're not a real team. We're a bloody family.
Not really, and that's my problem.
A few questions.
Priest says, we're going to finally be done with you after Survivor Series. And they basically run through each person, trying to sort of neg them into not liking each other. He says, Rollins, what's it feel like being a champion in there? Watch you stand next to Cody Rhodes, a man you could never beat. And they say, Cody, what's it like knowing you can beat all of your teammates, but you still can't be a bloody champion? And they say to Zayn, everyone just knows you're a loser, especially after last week. Oh, leave Sammy alone. And they say, really think you can trust Jey Uso after he screwed each and every one of you? Dominic Mysterio tries to chime in, but he gets booed out of the arena. Zayn says, no one wants to hear from you. We're going to put all of our histories aside, says Sammy, to take down the Judgment Day. You don't know what you're in for. It's going to be the most brutal match of your lives. When it's over, the power's going to lie with us. The four guys in the ring. And Rhodes is like, kind of surprised you managed to make your way out of here without me, the leader of your group. And he basically baits them in, saying, "Oh, she's not the leader. Well, who's the leader? Is it you? Is it you?" And the thing that really makes Priest snap is not when it's suggested that Dom or Finn or he is the leader, but the moment Rhodes goes, maybe it's JD, he's like, "No, I'm the leader." Obviously, Balor gives him a bit of a look. Everyone's like, "Ooh, thought there wasn't meant to be any leaders there." And Rollins like, "Anyway, I'm sick of all this bollocks. Obviously, you four are in the tag title match later, but the four of us are dressed to wrestle and haven't got anything on. Let's have a bare knuckle fight then." And Priest, the new leader apparently of the Judgment Day, accepts on the behalf of Dom and JD.
This was the story I wanted them to tell this week. Like, the baby faces, I like that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes especially, considering Cody only came back like just like a year and a half ago, have already got this law between them now. This was a very cute sidestep of Seth going, "Why do you not want my belt, Cody? What you saying about my title?" And, you know, like they've kind of got around that by just saying, look, they're just career rivals, but they're going to put the differences aside. This is the story I wanted them to tell for the main event, because ultimately the Judgment Day, despite the things that we can see, are going to be in total denial about their problems. They're heels. They should be, you know, thinking everything is fine when we can tell where the cracks are. Whilst the baby faces, because they're such good and believable baby faces, don't feel like they really have to justify why they're doing it. They're going into fight to fight a good fight like the good guys should.
Purple cage for the Judgment Day?
I mean, yeah, no, but how
Oh my God.
gutted would that be? We haven't had a purple hell in a cell yet.
Good point.
So you got to save that.
And we're getting a purple kilt.
Oh my God, purple sword. Like,
Oh my God.
this
I'll get
was...
my purple sword out if that happens. Anyway, carry on.
Knew it when I said it. Knew that was where it was going as soon as I said it. So yeah,
Swiss Army knife.
what this segment would have been really good at establishing, like they should have probably brawled at this point, and a pissed off Adam Pearce should have come out and said, "I have seen this. I listened to the What Culture Wrestling podcast, and Michael Sidgwick has astutely pointed out that I have seen this every week for the past 6 months. And you know what? It's not going to ruin tonight's tag team title main event. I'm banning all interference in that. Like that decision needed to be made.
Yeah.
And this segment would have been the perfect way to set that decision up.
Has he done that bit yet?
They use an entire 10-minute tag match and with no finish.
We'll get to that. I've got a take on that. I'm once again Bernie Sanders asking why. You know what was perfect? Until you realise. You know when you know what goes around every now and then, like the engagement accounts will try and get some numbers by going, "God, guys, we were so close to getting Blood and Guts 1, the original Blood and Guts." People might have forgotten this because they see the match graphics. There's a bit of Berenstein Bears Mandela effect stuff going on because you see the original match graphic. What actually happened is that Nick Jackson got written out because I think he was going on paternity leave and Matt Hardy was going to be in it.
Oh, God.
So, you know, like every cloud. What I loved about that setup for that match was that the Inner Circle were just absolute thick as thieves. Love being a gang of complete bastards together. No internal strife because it wasn't the popular thing to do. It wasn't the way to set up your next round of episodic TV when you could just kind of wait maybe sometimes and just have the heels as a united front. They're meant to be this absolutely unbeatable force that are just dickheads, cackling, running about, ruining the sanctity of everything. And can these baby faces with their naughty respective histories actually band together to just get rid of that wound and just close it up and move on? I just hate how there's doing internal strife within the Judgment Day. I understand why they are doing it, right? Okay. I understand that in theory, if they keep going, Damian Priest versus Finn Balor could be a pretty big WrestleMania match that isn't the title, okay? I understand that a lot of times teams, factions, associations, they exist to split up. It's wrestling. But I don't know, I just wish it was just a bit more traditional. It's consistent with my total apathy towards the exploration of friendships in professional wrestling. Like, let's go back in time to a better time because we all know the past was goated. This is a WWE promo train.
Past wasn't always goated because, let's not forget, did they have banter in the past?
Unfortunately for the older generation, they did not have banter until the early 1980s.
I'm going to let it play out a little bit because I do want them next week to be, because they're like, right, Damian Priest, the leader for War Games. And then next week, now they've got, spoiler alert, a new member. I want Finn Balor to be like, yeah, the big lad's going to take care of things at War Games. And Damian's like, yeah, I am. And he's like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Drew, obviously. So there's going to be more intrigue there. Yeah. But yeah, they didn't need to do a 10-minute match that went to a DQ. And I will mention very briefly some of the things that happened because it was a nice touch, obviously, with the...
Saving the skip for something else as well.
Yes. There was a nice touch with the three amigos, obviously, with how special yesterday was. Dom goes for a 619. Rollins hits him with a super kick and a buckle bomb. Sets up for the curb stomp, but here comes Priest and Balor for the DQ. They attack. Ripley sort of out there directing traffic. Jay and Cody come out to make the save. Big brawl. All of the security in the arena are basically in there. And Jay is going to spear Damian Priest, but JD McDonough takes the bullet for him. So Pierce finally does what, like you say, he said he should have done probably earlier. Grabs a mic and says, right, that's another bloody match ruined. Everyone not involved in the tag title match in these bloody factions are not just banned from ringside, they're banned from the arena. And Ripley starts arguing with him as we go to break. It continued, but you have thoughts on this?
I don't hate Adam Pearce generally. He plays a sort of bland administrator as well as he could probably play that role. At times, when he's playing off certain acts, he's kind of got a decent deadpan bit of comedy timing to him, right? Okay. So I don't want to go two-footed on Adam Pearce. I want to do the caveat of I don't think he's that bad all the time. I don't like the role of an authority figure. He does it in quite an anonymous and inoffensive way, right? You ever seen that? It pops up on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and I think I've seen it a lot in the wake of Jerry Springer's passing, when, like the clips of the Jerry Springer show started to pop back up. So people could share their memories of it now that he had died. And you've seen the one where, I can't even remember the context, but there's this sort of this nerdy guy, and I think he's standing up for himself, and he does the full Christian Bale Batman voice. Not anymore. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah, I think so.
That's Adam Pearce. He just, I was cringing watching him trying to sort of lay down the law. So for the second time, I'm bloody sick of this. Not anymore. It's I don't know who you think you are, but I just thought it was so lame.
My issue just with this is, we've said this before about both companies this year. Don't do the rubbish thing, even if you're setting up a bit where they're saying, look, we're not going to let this rubbish thing happen anymore. Again,
you've already done it.
I think it's pretty logical to say no interference, but just say that. Just have it, maybe have it in the stipulation of the tag match.
It's the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Don't do the rubbish thing first to be able to say, right, no more of this rubbish thing.
Have you watched Triple H's WWE before? Yes, and you loved every second.
I love it all. I'm criticising this. Still enjoyed it. A big smile on my face. I'm watching.
Who's next? I did like the way they set up, obviously, what came later. But it was a
complete waste of time and an insult to my intelligence. And it made them all look very, very stupid.
So when we come back from the break...
What do you expect to happen? You already knew this was happening, hence why you set up War Games.
I don't know,
what was booked for this segment?
Judgment Day sacrificed the big check at the pay window by throwing that match out with the DQ.
It stinks.
So Rhea's still arguing with Postman Pierce when we come back. And she says, Raw needs Judgment Day. And Pierce says, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Once again, WWE Cinema. So I want to do the whole thing.
There is definitely going to be somebody that doesn't know that's from a film. What a line. What a line.
Arn Anderson always gets praise for his, you send one of ours to the hospital.
Yeah.
You'll send one of yours to the morgue. It's like, Arn. It's Untouchables. So. Apparently the Don Callis one, I don't know the film, but that's stolen.
Oh, is it?
Which one? Oh, the bar one.
The one about Takeshita's dick.
What's that again?
Kinosuke Takeshita's the kind of guy, and he walks in a bar, walks into a room, his dick's already been there for 2 minutes. I think it's off the film as well. So I will say...
It's a proper banter in the past one for me. But in Wayne's World, obviously, the not thing. I love the idea that somebody said that for the first time once. Somebody's having a conversation. Yeah, I think this. Not. Oh my God! You're getting home, you're telling everybody, you will not believe what you said at work today.
Yeah.
You thought he was going one way.
Hey, Steve, nice hat. Oh, thanks, Ray. Not. Oh, no.
Steve went home crying.
Is that when banter was invented?
I think that might have been
Like
it.
a Big Bang.
That was it.
Big Bang and banter. Triple B. Right. What's happening? Oh, yeah. Zoe Stark interrupts. They're rowing. And Stark says, you're not as dumb as you look. You know why I'm out here. And Ripley's like, hey, Postman Pierce, let's see what happens here. Let her continue. Stark says, you got too much on your plate. War games, tag titles, your own title, dirty dom.
He's a babyface here, by the way.
Rhea Ripley, based on the crowd's reactions to all of this.
She said, don't overlook me. Ripley's like, I'm not overlooking you. I've been following you since NXT. I knew we'd end up in the ring together. You sent Trish Stratus packing. You beat Becky Lynch. You kind of remind me of me. But the only way you win a title is over there on SmackDown, basically. Mammy's always on top. Ripley says she's not spreading herself too thin, and she can handle it all anyway because she's Rhea bloody Ripley. She tells Stark to leave. Stark says, well, pretty much had you beat at Crown Jewel, and I'm going to win the title from you at Survivor Series. Ripley tries to attack, and Stark just dumps her out of the ring.
Considering all the fawning praise Papa H gets over his ability to tell stories, he frequently, like habitually, doesn't get that in every story, virtually every story, there should be at least one character you can root for. Like, who am I rooting for in Zoe Stark versus Rhea Ripley?
Well, see, I think this was a noble failure because I think you're absolutely supposed to root for Zoe Stark, but it missed. Like, she wasn't very good. Like, and that's
She's not very good
like,
in promos.
I really like watching Zoe Stark wrestle, but this was not a good promo, and this is not even a good setting for her to cut promos. Like, there's video packages for people that can't, and maybe do that instead, and like splice together her hitting really hard and not being afraid of Rhea Ripley's hard.
She wasn't telling you any values that she has or why you should root for her.
Ripley did more for her than herself.
She was basically, well, the writer did. You know,
Well,
she was basically saying, "Oh, here are all the things you've got to worry about. It's basically going to be a cinch for me." All right, okay, cool. It's just absolutely terrible writing and a not good performance on the microphone. But again, I'll caveat that. Like, I don't want to go in two-footed because Zoe Stark is very good in the ring.
I just thought it made a lot of sense on paper. Like, to have this running straight after the Rhea Ripley, like, not only is she like, is Zoe Stark confronting her with the various different things she's got going on, she's in the mess at that time. She's having this little fight with Adam Pearce. I quite like that. I thought it was all laid out well, and it did its best for Zoe Stark, but it did fail. It failed as an idea. The crowd were with Rhea Ripley as well. So it objectively failed watching on telly.
Shinsuke Nakamura video. You are blessed with so much privilege. I'm taking away your choice. The opportunity's mine now. I will wait for now because I know it all ends by my hands. CM Punk's coming at Survivor Series, basically.
I mean, I took this that Cody or Jey Uso are getting
CM
Nakamura as a winter program. Like, they're both, it's privilege. It's about being born into the business or being second generation or having like things like showered in sort of
There
like.
is more than one royal family.
the
Wrestling has more than one royal.
And he's the king of strong style. Huh? So, yeah.
CM Punk ain't coming, mate.
I don't think it's
CM Punk's coming. Zayn and Rollins have a chat in the back. Cody Rhodes is like, can I have a word with Seth, basically? And Zayn leaves him to it. And Rhodes tells Seth, look, we can hate each other for 364 days of the year, but at War Games, I need you. The team needs you. Rollins says he didn't like Cody, and probably never will, but he respects him. And they'll be all good at Survivor Series. And Rollins pats him on the back and says, hey, go out there and win the tag titles.
So what did he kind of say for one night only?
We'll get along.
Yeah, but he said, Cody, hey.
Oh, sorry. He says, for one night only, Cody. He say, one night. Just for the one night.
Hey. You all right?
I thought Seth Rollins had a really good night. There's another backstage promo later on, which obviously has, bigger impact on the main event. But I thought his selling physically was really good in these backstage segments. They are doing the Naka champion. This is followed on from the Nakamura and Dream matches with the back. Shame he doesn't sell it in the matches all the time, but at least he's selling it in the backstage promos.
He's fired up with that adrenaline.
Well, I think Cody is leading into a war. Shout out Mr. Phoenix's fantasy booking from one of our Q&A podcasts, but I think Cody's leading into a war where he loses his title. War Games is where Seth loses the belt and the physical commitments finally catch up with him. I think that ties into Damian Priest taking leadership of the Judgment Day right now for the cash-in. I think he's possibly losing the title and the match at the Survivor Series, and they're going to play on the fact that he's taken on too much, and part of that is because a lot of this wasn't really his fight, but he's doing the right thing, and it's going to cost him in the end.
Then we got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis. He's running through Alpha Academy. Obviously beat Akira Tozawa last week. Otis got a lot more offense in, though, a lot closer to beating him. He runs over Nakamura outside the ring to take us to a break early on. When we come back, Otis dominates, powerbomb, back elbows, clothesline, and a caterpillar for a 2 count. Nakamura hits an enziguri, but as he goes to the Kinshasa, Otis counters with a world's strongest slam for a near fall. And then Nakamura hits a series of Kinshasas, basically. He does a one off the top, kicks the leg out of Otis's leg, hits a Kinshasa to the back of his head, and then hits him with a third one in the face for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Nakamura shoves Gable, and Gable has to be held back by the rest of Alpha Academy as Nakamura taunts them, leaving the ring.
We are getting further and further and further away from Chad Gable versus Gunther.
Sure are.
We sure are, and this does nothing for me whatsoever. Slow motion Shinsuke having a feud with some geeks.
I thought this was really great. I thought this is like low bar. I thought this was match of the night.
Really?
I thought it was super.
Great.
I thought they had really great chemistry. Like, I could have watched another 5 minutes of this, genuinely. Like, Otis.
Is the heating on?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it. It's a bit like the arena in this no heat.
Otis never really stood a chance here. You knew they were
Is
going
it broken?
There's a little light. There's no light on the thing. There we go. So it wasn't on.
It wasn't on.
I didn't know that's why I was cold. It's like this match.
I was like, I was kind of refusing to give credit to Nakamura yesterday on the preview and get excited for whatever was to come. I thought this match massively over-delivered, and I now and it's Gable, so the Gable one will too. And with Sidge about the Gable Gunther thing, I think it might be time to sell your stock in that. But obviously
You're still thinking Shayna Baszler's getting pushed from 2019
Still time.
2020.
see you doing a friggin'
Interacting with Zoe Stark at the stage.
doing a bloody Nigel McGuinness card trick stuff. Great, just tap people out.
Takes 3 Kinshasas to put down Otis. What else has got 3? The letters GTS. CM Punk's coming back at Survivor Series. I'm just putting all the things together.
That's it.
Me and It's Always Sunny board. War Games video. Anything else you want to say about that? No. War Games video package to explain all the rules, and I say 5 minutes. It's great. Drew McIntyre.
Oh my God.
Preemptive. Approaches Rollins in the back. He says, look, you're right. I lost a crown jewel. No one to blame but myself. Maybe it's the best thing that happened to me. But it was something I wanted to give you since last week. Uh-oh. It's his hand. It's a handshake. And Rollins shakes his hand. McIntyre congratulates him, says, go on, represent that title. I'm going to go and work my ass off. Join the Judgment Day. I'm going to work my ass off and get myself a rematch. And Rollins like, I'm sure you will. See you later. And then he just limps away. I thought this was really well laid out.
Yeah, me too. Like, imagine if Drew McIntyre claymores Seth in War Games and Priest hands over the briefcase and wins the belt. Drew's like, you f***ing joking me?
I love that sound, and Drew McIntyre's
You know, are you f***ing joking?
taking the piss.
Where's my title shot?
You're taking the piss.
You know.
I
like it. Really like it.
The little hobble.
He's like,
away.
Seth's knackered.
So I was like, why have they left this? Oh, that makes actual sense for once.
It's healing you guys.
Orange Cassidy better?
Well, yeah.
He is.
Staying out of it. Tegan Nox video package. And then it was time for Tegan Nox versus one half of the tag team champions, Piper Niven. Natalia's hyping up the crowd, and it does nothing. Nox dominates.
Where's the line?
Early on. Chelsea Green jumps on the apron right in front of the ref. That allows Niven to knock down Nox. Natalia takes out Green. Niven takes out Natalia. But that allows Nox to hit Niven with the shiniest wizard. And I thought, there we go. There's the finish. And then Niven got a leg on the rope. But it was immediately finished after that because Niven went to sit down on Nox. Nox moved. Crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. I think this means they get a title shot.
Yeah. Yet again, the Fed trying to do right and the show just doing them wrong. Like, this was rubbish. This was really boring. But it should have been better. Like, this is absolutely what you should do. Tegan Nox's video package, where they, I thought was like, that's the story of that character. They are telling the story of that character pretty much for the first time since Triple H has randomly brought her back and expected there to be these massive pops in the building. This idea that, like, these horrific injuries, this just story of somebody that's survived the very worst and has come back and then lied about how good the last year has been. But you can do that in wrestling. Just say it. It's been a good year. And now what I want to do, building on that good year, is go off. And that should work. And yet, no reaction in the building. So it's failed. The match was bang average, worse than that, really. And, like, I share your indifference towards the tag title shot. The Chelsea Green Piper Niven team I like, but they need the belts for absolutely ages before any of these tag title matches feel remotely worthy of your attention. The belts have been dead RIP for years. Like, Green and Niven are the best chance of, like, bringing them back to life, but it's going to take months and months and months. You can't just be like, well, Natalya and Tegan Nox are ready. Great. I don't care.
Jumbo Masawa compared to what came later.
Jackie Redmond.
Can't wait for this. I don't even know which bit you're referencing.
I know. Jackie Redmond interviews The Miz. What's driving you, Miz? He said a bus. That's not what she meant, silly. He does an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression as well.
Sure does.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do the Mrs. Arnie for me?
I don't know. Get to the chopper. Is basically what he said.
Right.
Chris Thompson does a very good Arnie impression, yeah. Shout out to the guys at Trek Culture.
You like Star Trek, by the way. Check out Trek Culture.
Hey.
It's like one of the leading content.
Star Trek, I don't know.
What are you doing?
R2-D2, that's Star Trek.
It's not leading.
Kicks ass.
Yeah. Trek Culture's big and good.
I watched Sean Ferrick videos before, having never watched Star Trek in my life. That's how good the content is.
Ellie, Sean, both great. Yeah, check out that channel. Really good stuff. This was fine backstage. Ivar comes in, calls him a clown. Bronson Reed comes in.
It really is look intimidating.
He wants them to both know you're
Would you be after you'd seen this exchange between Ivar and Bronson? Losers.
lucky to be standing there. Ivar's like, you've had your shot. Reed's like, stand down. You need to smarten your man up, Valhalla. And Ivar shoves Reed and he spins back around and then suddenly Valhalla switch places with him.
This was so lame.
Oh, it's fair.
Yeah, but like, even you were putting over the like raw monsters, like the two of them, and the match that you're going to get. Like,
they're respectfully, they are two guys who grew up idolizing Vader with none of the aura, at all. I find them fun when the bell rings. Never anticipate. Never really get like when they turn up. I'm happy-ish.
They just don't have them in a backstage war of words at all.
No, they look like they were 8 years old.
Yeah,
they're meant to be these like absolute massive units. These Hoss monsters. It's made them look like children.
The Miz, the clown we were just speaking about, is right there.
Oh God,
used to. We're out clowning him.
Then we got Ludwig Kaiser versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Skip.
Vinci attacked Gargano to allow Kaiser to win. Enough of all that. It's now time for this.
It's short, it's crap, it's wrestling related. The 5-star review. Nailed it.
And this week's 5-star review is brought to you by Eric Vasquez, friend of the channel, a belated birthday present.
Happy birthday.
Just a week late. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, Eric.
For your 35th birthday. If you want to suggest something short, crap, and wrestling related for us to review, you can either do so on Apple Podcasts by leaving us a 5-star rating on there, or leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it.
We need the proof.
And email it to me, adam.wilborn@whatculture.com, just like Eric did, writing, greetings, good sirs. I'll cut right to it. As always, from many of us, you lads are often the highlight of our days. We deeply thank you for your daily sacrifices for us content ghouls.
It's a sacrifice.
It's
I get to watch Raw.
It is.
It is. It's a sacrifice.
Sacrifice on a Wednesday.
My sacrifice is every Tuesday morning at 5:20 a.m.
Don't call us heroes, though. For my 35th birthday, stand outside of your back door and clap at 7 o'clock if you want. It's up to you. I was hoping you guys could review anything of Wilborn's choice in the honor of the official goat of Eric's, little Eric Wilborn, my son, who turns 3 months old this week, in fact.
Oh, Milestone City's coming up, man.
Yeah. He laughed for the first time over the weekend.
Well, it's already been then.
Peaked That's it.
It's the best thing ever, isn't it? When your child laughs.
And now I'm just chasing that dragon now. Like anything. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm going to shut my head in the door. Make you laugh again. Anyway, Eric says, absolutely great first
Can you
name.
imagine as well? Like he's like that with us in the office. Like, he's absolutely desperate for pops, this guy.
He doesn't pop when I like smile and wink at him though, like you usually do. So
he's 3 months old.
You're just coming in after a day of work doing your weather joke. Nothing.
So much for the summer, right?
Paul Heyman, more like Paul Grayman. Huh? Nothing. Tough crowd. Cheers and blessings to you all, says...
Eric. Aesop! Now listen.
Honestly, I thought I was going to be able to retire off the back of that tweet. So good.
Not that good.
Adam Wilburn, if you want more of that sort of thing. Or if you want to find the link to donate for this.
Yes, that's
that's
that's actually worth talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway.
Like everything else he said.
Eric says, cheers and blessings to you all the wonderful listeners, all your families and friends, to us, to life.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday.
Belated.
So I typed in Eric. I thought we'd do an Eric-themed one. Eric Young, TNA Sexy, because I wanted some morning comments along with it. And I found the reunion of ODB and Eric Young from August 31st, 2012. Michael Hamflett, what was going on in TNA back then?
Not much I was watching. The Bound for Glory series was chugging along. It's a what not to do for AEW's G1 thing. Christ almighty, wrestlers that wrestled different number of matches.
Oh, yeah, so it's like a weird point system.
Some of them were just entitled to get more points.
Good.
There was a pay-per-view in, I think it was this month. But like I think it was Hardcore Justice. They were still kind of like doing some ECW drag stuff, and there was a battle royal where the winner of the battle royal would win 20 points. Huge, obviously, but it didn't even feature everyone in the tournament. I think it was like a 4-way battle royal, so four of them could win 20 points. It's like, well,
I'm telling you, man, I used to try and dip my toes into those waters, and every single time I watched it, some stupid bobbins, like idiocy happened.
The good
every single time.
Sorry, I've just found the Bound for Glory thing on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
10 points for a submission victory, 7 for a pinfall victory. Why is a pinfall less than a submission? 5 points for a count out. So a count out's basically the same as pinning someone.
Yeah.
3 points for a DQ victory, 2 points for a draw, 10 points deducted for a DQ loss. And special matches can also be made where the winner of the match can be awarded up to 25 points. The winner of the first one, actually, 2012, who won that one?
Jeff Hardy?
James Storm, 2012. Oh, yeah, that made a tournament for some reason. Yeah, sorry. James Storm topped, but it went into like a playoff.
Yeah, they did a playoff, yeah.
And, like championship playoffs, just because you finished top.
That's it.
I mean, anything. Jeff Hardy just sneaks in and wins the whole
Yeah,
thing.
James Storm had been the main push babyface for the bulk of 2012. So it was like, I'll never see this coming. I didn't see anything coming, and I won, man. Austin Aries was world champion. It was a good title run. It was
He was really good in 2012, wasn't he?
First use of the option C, where he's the X Division champion, and he could give up the belt just to try and win the world title, and he did. And it was actually a good TNA stipulation at Destination X for a few years.
Just looking there on 2012, I got distracted about a bit, Sige, because 11th in the rankings for 2012 is one Robbie E. It says he's still wrestling. Do you know what the name is he's working under now?
His name now is Robert Stone.
Oh, it's NXT day, and I've just remembered. Also in 2011, I like the fact that Bobby Roode topped that group, Bully Ray Gunner, James Storm, and in last place, not in the DNF bit for whatever that reason that is, Samoa Joe with negative 10 points.
Yeah. Easy to bury him.
So yeah, that was
terrible.
A Bound for Glory series. That was what was going on in 2012.
Yeah, a lot of that because it filled the TV time. Bully Ray was establishing himself as like just a hard-working guy because they were going to turn him babyface and start the big Brooke Hogan stuff because obviously that would lead to aces and eights. And
he
all
took
that.
his licks.
He took my licks. But yeah, Austin Aries was half decent, so that probably tells you the state of the company at large.
So ODB's...
I watched some of the Aries matches from there because they were just recommended like so frequently.
What snap that guy had.
Oh my God.
Christ.
Whatever happened to that?
peaked in WCPW.
Oh, shut up, man. Get to the
Welcome.
Get to the review.
So ODB's wrestling, I think, Madison Rain in a match set up by Brooke Hogan. Taryn Terrell's the ref. More on that later. ODB hits a finish. Bam! 1, 2, 3. And as she grabs her boobs in celebration, Taz says, you can see how frustrated that ODB has been for weeks waiting for a husband. She needs... Right, you are 2 married men.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Did it. What are the 3 things a married woman needs?
Bingeable television.
Good.
Stimulating conversation.
Some appreciation just for the work they do at all times, basically.
Give you that one, Sidge. She needs some fried chicken, beer, and some loving.
Thanks, Ted.
Wait, he's not finished. She's got the vibrating phone, but she needs a man, for God's sakes. I didn't understand what that meant. Is that like a, bit of technology? How's that?
I think the idea is that ODB, who was, maybe in absence of her husband's engorged penis, as an instrument of her pleasure, she instead temporarily swapped for a vibrating telephone.
Fair enough. Taz, a fantastic commentator now and a surprisingly authoritative voice not long after he retired. But he was Patter Jones in TNA.
People hated him in TNA, didn't they?
He's replaced Don West as well.
To the point, to the point as well, where when he rocked up very early 2020, I believe, on Dynamite, I think he subbed for someone, and then he was so great that they were like, get him in. Do something with Taz. Like, it was never once mooted for that booth. Ever. And they had Alex Morfez in it. And no one said, I'll get Taz to replace him. You know what I mean? No one had ever said that. Seems like the biggest no-brainer ever in retrospect.
Alex Morfez does have one of my favourite moments in AEW history, though, when he's backstage with...
I quite like him as the backstage guy.
The pizza guy, and the beige kicks his head off. And he goes, what are you doing? Anyway, Eric Young...
As a commentator, those long pauses down there, like... Thanks, Jim. Double or Nothing pre-show is like a must-watch. I'm so glad it's still on their YouTube channel in all of its
the very first
awful glory.
Seconds of AEW's content, right? Not including that weird Hangman Page pack match in England, Nottingham. It's just Excalibur, who you can even sense being nervous through the mask, and Marvez going, oh my God, just talk. And then they talked, shut up. That guy from The Office.
Didn't he get super kicked as well by the Young Bucks at one point?
I think so, yeah.
Honestly, you do watch it, and it's like JR knew what he was doing. He gets his own special entrance, and you're watching it. God, thank God Jim Ross is here. Shore this up.
So Eric Young returns. He's got the fried chicken. He's got the beer. He's also in a suit. And they say, oh, here he comes, the star of Off the Hook Extreme Catchers on Animal Planet.
Yeah, if you're a fishing fan, I'm sure that was great.
Mm-hmm. Poor Mike Tenay. Taz is like, hey, Tenay, you know beer, chicken, and cheap suits better than anybody. And Tenay has to yuck it up like, I am a piece of Poor Mike Tenay. But ODB, she's confused. Who is this guy? She doesn't recognize him. He's got sunglasses on. He's got this suit. She's like slapping at the suit. She says, "What?" She said, "Where the hell have you been? I sent you out months ago for some fried chicken and beer." A bit Josh Briggs, that, isn't it? I want to stop doing it. I'll step on your dick. EY says, "I know. I've been in Hollywood. I'm very successful now. Got this little TV show, but I got beer. It's small, but it'll do the trick." Sidge, what's he implying there?
He's implying that he isn't the most well endowed, but, you know, some positions are uncomfortable or something. I don't know.
And a giant bucket of chicken for my love.
So sometimes a benefit. I've read.
He says, so look, we're one happy couple. Let's get out of here. But ODP, she shrugs him off. She's not going anywhere. She says, look, you know, I appreciate it. Finally, fried chicken, beer. But who the hell are you? Really? With this fancy crap? Where's my husband that I married? Which is very WWE-like. Where's EY? This is not you. This is not who I married. I think they were a married couple. And there's meant to be like a bit of, tense. Slightly undercut by the entire crowd chanting, "We want chicken." And EY says, "Oh, you're right. This doesn't feel right. Does it look right to you, crowd?"
No.
No, boo.
He says, "I'll fix it." And he gets a clap going and he strips off the suit. And as he tosses off bits of it, he tosses off onto his wife. Taz says, "Why can't they do this in private?" And he goes for the
You're a scumbag.
he is going with over the britches, and he bumps to take them off, and does a kip up. And isn't he Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing USA undies, which means obviously.
And God bless the United States.
Because he's not himself. He's forgot where he's come from.
But ODB looks him up and down now, takes a bite of chicken, and they embrace. It's true love, they say on commentary. Happy days are here again. The beer, the chicken, and now all she needs is a little loving. And Taz signs off by saying, "I hope she doesn't choke on that bone." So, she's taking a bite of chicken.
You must have been buzzing to have found this.
I thought, this is fantastic. And then that sign off, I was like, oh, go ahead.
The comments can't top it.
So we go to the comments section.
Have you cleared these?
Oh, no, we haven't got a producer today. So.
Christ.
Oh, no.
Adam Nicholas back next week, guys.
Thank God.
All going well.
Once again, these not reflective views of Adam Nicholas, the Dadley Boyz, anyone at What Culture, or birthday boy himself, Eric Vasquez. Ward, that starts off nice. These were the days. WCW, TNA, Impact. That's not the same thing, but okay. Ruled the world. Did they? 2012?
No, business was in the bin. Not really, but the bin, but it wasn't
When did they
great.
on Monday nights?
2010.
2010.
So, yeah,
For
they were
2 months.
I forgot. You'll like this. Got another game.
Oh, yes.
Rana writes, "The good old days. I miss all the original TNA wrestlers, including..."
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
There's 3 names. I'll give you 3 guesses each, or you can come up with a combo if you want.
What's the
The good old days. I miss all the original TNA wrestlers, including...
The beautiful people.
Okay, that's your 3.
Oh, I see. Right. So, okay. It's all going to be women. Perverts in the comment section. The beautiful people.
Gail Kim.
Good shout. Tracy Brooks.
Okay.
I'll take that.
3.
What are you going for?
I thought we'd workshop that.
Oh, okay. You're wrong.
Oh.
It tickled me. Original TNA wrestlers, right? Your mind goes to who?
AJ
AJ
Styles.
For
Styles.
Daniels,
Jeff Jarrett.
Samoa Joe.
Petey Williams.
I miss all the original TNA wrestlers, including Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, and Booker T.
That's what they wanted you, I think.
Justin says, I liked EY better when he was clean shaven with blonde hair. He reminded me of what Butters from South Park would look like all grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wholesome guy. These are wholesome comments.
Hey.
Loved Eric Young when he would get shocked by his own pyro bump on the way to the ring. Good character.
This was all
Very much your speed.
Oh, TNA was totally my speed. It was Ring of Honor was over there. I was like, ugh.
See, Ring of Honor was there, and I was like, yeah.
It's in the lights that kind of slightly get in the way of the wrestling. Ugh. That's in a TV studio. Florida.
I was just all fed if even I was watching any wrestling at this point. And I dipped in. So like, what's this whole TNA thing? Oh, no. Sucks. And then when I came back,
Low rent.
EY was world champion. I was like, sorry, this is the guy who was scared of his pyro about 3 weeks ago.
Just like a Daniel Bryan lift, something like a month after Bryan won the belt,
it was
wasn't it?
unbelievable.
was it?
Shameless stuff, man.
Where are we? Oh, BRN League. Oh, I love Taryn Terrell in a referee uniform so much. It's taken the turn.
Oh. I think we just do the
Credible ref.
credible ref, like good officiating.
James Williams. What's she doing with that goofball? She should be with me on the back of my Harley.
Come on, Tyrion.
You seen who's new to the content game? Is the dead man himself.
Yes.
He's got his own YouTube account. Man, I want to take a likes this. So, we're going to get Gary Lineker, dead man face. It's coming soon.
I love that. She should be with me, the guy from YouTube, on the back of my hog. Who do you think you are?
You not even got a bike.
Benicio, apt for, this isn't recent, but back in time, Benicio writes, "No Nut November, boys, stay strong." What's No Nut November? What's all that about? What do you mean? You don't eat any nuts in November? Is it because like Christmas, you like everyone loves like a big bowl of nuts at Christmas? Is that what it is?
No, it means... I don't know why people do this or what it really, the origins are, but apparently there's like a month and it's November, and I believe it's to do with the alliteration where you are not allowed to nut, nut being a verb. You don't know what that is though, do you? Even though you said it on previous podcasts, yeah, it's ejaculation.
No J's January.
Guess I failed that on the first, huh?
No J's January. No Fat February.
We've done this before. We have done this
all the way
before.
through. Was it the wanking calendar? I knew we'd done one
We
recently.
did it on I think we fairly said we did it on a live stream because people were sending in suggestions for months.
No molesting yourself. March.
What was the April one?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Or on Twitter.
Because I can't just begin with like, That's
No,
me.
no, that's cheating. Jabba writes...
It's a Jabba ER. That's awful.
No. Writes... so many hot women, so little time to bust nuts. So slightly contradicting Benicio there.
Something tells me Jabba's got plenty of time to bust nuts.
I think it's got too much time, if anything. Just walking around, oh, God, not another one.
Is this another clue about CM Punk? It's not in time.
Look, Benicio going around and policing all the videos. Every video we can
Come on,
find on
guys.
YouTube. Okay, I'll get in there.
Stay strong, guys. Again, Kay not really subscribing to Benicio's way of thinking, let's say. Doesn't actually specify. Just says, I wanted to fart on my face. So. Could it? Plenty of people could apply to. And Johnny Jones circles back to our...
This is the last one.
It's the last one.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Can't be much worse than that.
Referee Taryn Terrell. I think the way I'm just going to read this verbatim because that's what tickled me the most. Johnny Jones just writes, "Hey ref, Daddy wanna spank that ass." She's in it for about 10 seconds. Happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday, Eric.
I love 10-second cameo. I'm just a woman doing her job. Hey, come here. Oh, God.
Back to Monday Night Raw. Judgment Day are having a meeting backstage, and Ripley and Dom are like, "Oh, here comes the bloody leader, apparently." And Priest's like, "Look, I got hot in the moment." And Ripley's like, no. I think you should actually be in charge for War Games. Dom and Ballas seem on board, but Ballas says we've got something else to take care of. He's got a duffel bag, and it's time to make JD McDonough an official member of the Judgment Day. Priest's still iffy about it, but Ripley's like, "Look, he's in medical now. He took a bullet for you." And Ballas says it's time, and Priest says, "Yeah, fair enough. You know what? I'll do it myself."
Yeah. Got the follow through later on.
Have they entertained who it was going to be, if not him, for War Games? At the minute, it's meant to be a 4-on-4.
Yes, but JD McDonough was already in that.
Oh, was he already in it?
Yeah,
He just wasn't a part of
It
it.
wasn't part of the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
It was
still makes no sense then.
He's got he's allowed to say he's in the Judgment Day now, whereas previously he was there like hanger on it.
It was the Judgment Day and JD McDonough, basically.
Yeah.
Right, okay, maybe.
Then it was time for Xia Li versus Indy Hartwell.
That's what. Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Oh boy,
Xia Li hit a roundhouse kick and KO'd Indy Hartwell.
and a forearm. They hit a forearm and just sold a concussion. It was absolutely terrible. You will see professional wrestling of this standard virtually nowhere else. And pylon. You've got to criticise it when it's bad, guys.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it
Oh
wasn't
yeah, I
great.
was just waiting for you to finish your point. It was rubbish.
This is disastrous.
Fans could see through it as well. It got
Yeah,
booed
the
out the
fans
building.
were not
They could
happy.
see
Booed out
through
the
this.
finish got booed out the building. The preceding match was diabolical. Like, basically, Xia Li kicked her ass for a few minutes,
Yes.
and that was it. There was one
Well, tiny hope spot.
tiny hope
Yeah.
spot, but that was it. There's a moment in this match where, like, you know when there's never a good time to botch, but there are awful times to botch, right? There's a moment in this match when Xia Li, on one of the few occasions where Indy Hartwell's like on offense, where she's trying to bump and feed for Indy Hartwell, and like she slips. It's like you can't slip during a bump and feed because it's like, oh my god, I was trying so hard and trying to go so fast for you to kick my ass that I tripped up. I was just so ready for you to kick my ass and magically get up when I could have stayed on the ground.
Old guard WWE would have had you fired for that as well, wouldn't it? Like, the old agents would have been like, well, that is the most important fundamental in all of wrestling history, and you can't do that. You are
The most
out on
important
your-
fundamental in this business, which we take seriously, we don't spam these super kicks, I do these Canadian destroyers, is that you must get up as quickly as humanly possible and as smooth as baby
Yeah.
to get your ass kicked by the baby face. And
Yeah.
you will walk into it and you will run into it, if anything. And you will fall down and get back up. You cannot sprint into a bump and feed. You cannot slip. Oh, sorry, I was trying so hard to get my ass kicked. And I just got ahead of myself.
And yeah.
She redo the finish. Sell the arm and go, like, have some instincts. They
It's like she didn't go down initially, and I thought, oh, they're going to redo this.
The whole way this business works, I would say in AEW is a beyond reproach or anything. The way the business works, it's like, right, that's the agent told me that's the finish, so I must do this. It's I have some instincts, like, oh, she's hit your arm. Oh, just go like that. Do it again. I'm going to feed you my head. Right, hit us in a safer spot. Bang, bang, bang. And now I can do the bump. Looked ridiculous.
It doesn't even need to be the wrestlers. Like, just get in the refs here. You're watching. Like, there's enough people watching those screens backstage. Just get in the refs here and have the refs here. Do that again.
I don't blame
Like
them. Though. I do not blame them. They are instructed from an early age,
Yeah.
from the very start of their career. That's what you do. It's down to the letter. It's a very regimented television show. That's how it goes. You are told your job. Go and do it. If you fail, just can't have instincts. You can't be sort of I don't know, kind of improvise. Sucks.
Becky Lynch comes out, says, we're doing it on my time now after what you did to me. Come looking for a fight. She gets in there, tries to manhandle slam Xia Li, but she slips out of it and rolls out. And Becky's furious, obviously, that she hasn't managed to get her a revenge. She grabs a mic. She says, you want to keep running? You got 7 more days. Next week, it's me versus you. Welcome to the big time.
And again, really, not to overstate how bad the match or the segment before it was, but this is when, in wrestling, these things, one thing undermines the other. Becky Lynch cutting this promo after last week where she was booted out of the Battle Royal and had been attacked backstage, fine. But immediately following that, it didn't feel remotely credible or something you want to watch because the thing you just watched was pretty terrible. So
I feel like this is a waste of Becky Lynch. I know what's going to happen. She's going to work Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. All of this will be forgotten, and Rhea Ripley can use it as like ammo and promo material. The writer on her behalf can and say things like, I was running this show while you were squeaking past rookies and stuff. Like they can make it seem like Becky Lynch has got the biggest fight of her career.
she's doing what Drew said he was going to do.
Yeah.
I'll work my way back to the title sort of thing.
Yeah. So it'll all work out. They'll be able to square it off. But living in the moment of this is just, it feels like a waste.
Did you see over the weekend, Sidge, we were talking about this on the SmackDown review, and if Becky beats Xia Li on Raw next week, that does sort of free her up for it. You see the rumours that she could be the babyface's fourth for the SmackDown Women's War Games.
Oh my
The
god.
prospect of Becky and Charlotte on the same
Oh
team.
my God, I
that's sort of captivating, that, isn't it?
Aye.
Oh my God.
I want to see who's got a bit of a boo-boo face.
Imagine them in the cage
Double
together. If
teams,
they're
yeah.
like the holding pen bit. Just even if they're not, one of them would have to go up first, wouldn't they? I need a bit of that.
I know.
Is it so? Yeah, are you saying that this bit of Becky Lynch's road to WrestleMania is going to be the Deborah managing The Rock segment?
They just won't mention it in the video packages. Yeah.
Yeah, she did some stuff with.
She put over Liv Valkyrie in a good match, and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. And scene missing. With the Royal Rumble or whatever. Gunther approaches Mike in the back. Congratulates him on the surprise win. But hey, Miz, you're the rightful challenger. Miz says, why don't you just watch tonight? Watch what I do out there.
Your analog Ivar, in case you were too thick to get it.
I don't get that you're not excited. I'm so buzzing for this match.
I'll do whatever it takes to win. I'll do what others don't. I've been doing it for 20 years.
And I've endured every single one of them.
I'm an 8-time champion. I'll show you the difference between the
20 years of my life. Yeah. I probably spent more time with The Miz than I have, like, my cousins. You know what I mean? I probably have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'll show you the difference between the longest reigning champion and the greatest champion of all time. Oh, you're going to bring Bret Hart video in?
Doesn't stand up as well, because, like, he's lost it 8 times. And as we were talking about the week, like, maybe 2 memorable matches.
Yeah.
There's the difference.
There's the difference.
Gunther says, I know exactly what I'm dealing with. You're going to get the beating of a lifetime at Survivor Series. I hope so.
He's going
to. Zoe Stark.
I'll go like this. If it's really good.
Not quite Fenix window, though.
I'll show me Austin Fenix window if this gets over 4 stars.
That's a big one. It melts his ratings this year. Wild West.
Now he gives everything 4 1/4, man.
Not if it's CM Punk and Samoa Joe.
It's a rule proven exception.
Yes, fair point. Zoe Stark.
Watched it again last night.
Did you? I saw it. That's why I was going to say, I saw someone tweeting about it. Like, get wound up. Whilst I was doing all the Fed stuff.
Why would I not watch it again? And I just did. It's unbelievable.
It's class.
What a match.
3.5 stars. It's brilliant.
Joe Hulbert just replied to me, of Wrestle Purists, good take, Haver. He just said it's just like 2 old pros, like just improvising their way through a stadium show stealer. And
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that vibe, like, that's magic.
3.5 stars of magic. Zoe Stark spoke with up-and-comer Shayna Baszler backstage. Baszler said, I could easily be champion right now, or at least be in your position. But hey, you're on a roll. Good luck beating Rhea Ripley. And Raquel Rodriguez says, not thrilled you eliminated me, but good luck. And then Nia Jax appeared to save it all. Mocked everyone. Pathetic, she says. Took all you to bloody eliminate me. None of you could have beat me one-on-one. And Raquel gets in her face and says, why aren't you champion if you're so bloody tough then? And it's basically set up a match between the two of them next week.
Nia is a good Rumble opponent for Rhea Ripley.
Oh my God.
Because you can't really put...
Close to WrestleMania.
You can't really put Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble the way she is at the moment and not have her just like dump everybody. I like the idea of that Rhea Ripley match and Rhea getting
Men's or the women's?
She has done it both, yeah. But yeah, I think they're setting Nia Jax up for Rhea Ripley at the Rumble. I think she beats everybody on the way.
Anything you want to say about this?
What would I possibly have to say about a poorly scripted and performed WWE backstage segment on television?
I'll move on.
I know it's my job, but what?
The Miz versus...
Go back and watch the cards bit, honestly. There is this bit at the end where she like flicks I think it's like a jack of spades or something to the front of the deck. It's really impressive. I can't do that.
Well done.
The Miz versus Ivar. Miz can you. Miz hopped on the second turnbuckle. Hit a big kick and a Rana off the top.
That's right.
He takes 3 goes, but he gets Ivar over the top of the clothesline. Flies through ropes with a big kick. And then Ivar hits... I will say this. God damn it, do I love a crossbody when someone's wedged against something by Ivar.
Oh my God.
The Xavier Woods one's probably my favourite. But also that ring apron doesn't have any... Or the
screen one.
Doesn't have any give.
So did you catch Michael Cole's Call of the Year in that moment? So Miz is obviously up against that thing, and Valhalla is temporarily there, distracting him with a big primal scream, and that's what leaves the Miz prone to get hit with that splat. And she does the scream, and then Michael Cole like, what the hell was that? We're all you for a second.
Yeah.
Ivar gets in control, chucks Miz over his head, but Miz lands on his feet like a cat. Fights out the corner. It's a spinning DDT to Ivar.
Not exhausting being you.
Gets a 2 count. Must be exhausting being Miz because he's got a hot wife. Spinning slam by Ivar.
A hell of an engine.
Gets a 2 count as well. Bronson Reed shows up. Miz hits a bulldog out of the corner. Fans are behind him. Ivar hits a sit-down splash. And Reed looks like he's going to twat him with a chair, but he just puts shuts it down and sits to watch as we go to another break. We come back. Ivar hits a backbreaker and a powerbomb for another near fall. Miz hits a DDT and the it kicks. Ivar distracts the ref. Valhalla cheap shots Miz. Ivar hits the roundhouse kick for 2. World's strongest slam off the middle rope. Still Miz kicks out. Sets up for the moonsault. Gets distracted by Reed, who doesn't really do anything, but just is in his eye line effectively. And Miz slips underneath, stacks him up, puts his feet on the ropes, and gets the 1, 2, 3.
Can't even do that. He cannot even do that. It looked absolutely rubbish. Just putting his feet on the ropes. There's none of the actual logic for what that counts to be.
It's meant to be, yeah.
Just looked rubbish. Tell you what, like, a lanky ginger who's constantly living in gimmick. Have you ever seen Wilborn and The Undertaker in the same room?
Booger Red.
This match, successful YouTube podcasters.
Yeah.
Well, one of them.
This match, honestly, it's like, you know when the Canadian Destroyer was in vogue, then a few years later, WWE had like Bad Bunny do one.
Yeah.
Right. You see like Virgil and Ricky Morton do them. That's The Miz doing everything. It's like, it just doesn't look right. And I'm meant to buy that he can do it.
He's I love the
If he was good, he would be trying to wrestle. I know he's babyface, right? Over the past few years, he'd be trying to wrestle like Christian Cage in AEW, just a rat.
Yeah.
But like doesn't care about going on offense because he just knows every single trick. He can swipe your leg. He can sort of get your neck on the ropes. If you make one mistake, he'll punish you. Like a little rat. Like just tripping you up and laughing when you fall. The Miz just can't do anything.
It's that. The instruction is, prove you're a worthy wrestler to lose to Gunther. And he's taken that instruction. He's gone, 3 knee moves?
Yeah.
Got a couple of DDTs in me, maybe. I think I can springboard off that top. I don't really
That
want
one where
to.
he's like...
Yeah. There's no, like, snap to it at all, is there? Like, he just flings his leg up to be like...
Yeah.
It's kind of extra... Kind of Jake Roberts' new generation, if anything. Like, aye. I'm still into the Miz Gunther match, but it's the idea that like the Miz in this match specifically was basically presented as like WWE's 5-tool player. Like he's got the technical know-how, he's got the engine.
Can fly as well.
Yeah, he's got the guile, but he's pretty opportunistic. Gunther, you better have your head in a swivel for the old Miz. It's funny, isn't it?
It's terrible.
It's funny.
It's terrible.
You got all of the Fed, it's got the lot. Like it's got comedy.
And we're getting Ivar, Bronson, Reed, presumably, because afterwards Reed hits Ivar with a tsunami off the top.
Yeah, like again, you don't need to do the bad thing to get to the good thing, but this is the good thing. They kind of built these two up, like at the same time to crash into each other.
Break the ring?
Yeah, why not? I haven't done that in a while.
Priest does the business with JD McDonough. He's still in the midst of saying congratulations, welcome to the Judgment Day. He's still like, you really do piss me off quite a lot. But he says after what you did, if someone can stand with, welcome to the Judgment Day. Priest gives him a new jacket. Balor's like, look at this, eh? Well, yeah, who'd have thought it? But we got to cut short this celebration because don't get in trouble with old man Pierce. We've got the match later.
I just really like the Judgment Day, and I think they're doing a great job with Damian Priest here. Like him offering the spot. There's almost, even within these villains, within these heels, there's a certain nobility that Damian Priest is taking to be like, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger man here. I had my reservations, but the rest of the guys, you've got them all on side and you've helped me tonight, so fine, you're in. He's, like I say, I think he's going to potentially win the title, which is going to breed the jealousy of Finn Balor especially. But JD McDonough's plan all along has appeared to have been to possibly replace Damian Priest rather than just simply get in the group. So this is a nice way for him to finally get his jacket, finally get his acceptance. And I think it spins... All of it probably spins off from Wargate. I think they win, and obviously Damien gets the title, but I think after that, it's then when Damien's got the belt and he realises, maybe I don't need this group as much, and then...
I disagree. I think Cody's standing tall. That's what I
think he's winning.
But I'll save that for another time. What do you make of the anointment of JD McDonough? Gunther's backstage with, you might like this, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, and he comes in and says...
Oh, this is weird.
This is good.
I think I'm back on board with Imperium now after this.
Comes back in and says, good job tonight, and Kaiser's like, thanks, just kind of the best, aren't I, really? Gunther's like, I'm not talking to you, bellend. Talking to Giovanni. He's bloody brilliant. He talks a bit in Italian to him, and he says what a brilliant effort he's done. And the only reason Ludwig Kaiser won is thanks to him, and he's beaming. And he turns around and shoots Ludwig Kaiser this look, and then just storms off. And then I think Giovanni walks off as well. And Ludwig Kaiser turns around, and there is Jinder Mahal.
No! 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 No!
Says, hey, choose your next move wisely. Not with you. You're trying to infiltrate Imperium or something. What's going on?
What a terrible trios match that will be. Like, you think The Miz is a test for Gunther making that one?
It'll be 5/6 of it. It will be good. Into shit, kick ass. Love those boys. Well, they're in Creeds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not long they
That's a bad
tease.
one. I've got to be tight on that one.
How long they teased that one out? They kept like promising and not delivering that specific match into sharing the creeds. It's like it's coming, it's coming.
Oh,
Like we got weeks of that. I loved Gunther here, man.
Yeah.
Like he can do everything. There's like, I know it wasn't necessarily a popular thing that he was required to do X, Y, and Z to really fit in WWE, but I believe that you can still do the things you have to do to fit in WWE and be entertaining with it. Like there's loads of guys that can do that. There's just plenty that don't. Gunther does. I thought this was like he had great comic timing the way he's flipped this week, and I think I finally get what the dynamic with Imperium is that ultimately Gunther just wants to keep them both hungry and scared. I get it now. It's not just this weird, strange. Giovanni's absolutely useless. I don't know why anybody would bother bringing him back. Like we've moved away from that now.
it has to be part of though, doesn't it? It can't just be a gang. It wants to be a gang. I don't know what happened to gangs and hate. It was Patter.
Well, it's Pat next. Gable's comforting Otis. Don't worry, we'll take care of Nakamura next week. Creed brothers are there saying, hey.
If you're Gable, right, your job is to constantly console how useless Otis is.
And your prior partners and friends. That's been the story of his WWE career, isn't it? Like, partner up with this guy, make them better, make them class, then
I feel like I've seen Gable go chin up to Otis for about 4 years. Bored? It's an absolute rerun.
Yeah,
Absolute syndication.
Creed brothers are there saying, if you need some new training partners.
It's just the same every week. It's the same show every single week.
Gable says, no, thank you. They're not going to abandon the Gable method. Brutus says, we're undefeated. Maybe we'll go after the tag titles. Yes, please. But, of course, mentioning the tag titles brings in the New Day. They all argue. And it cuts to Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupri. Who are like, what are these bloody like? And they walk off together. And then Tazar was there with an NFL WWE title doing a little dance.
Yeah, the Tozawa thing's so strange, isn't it?
It sucks. Stinks.
Maybe it'll feed into...
It's the main event.
Maybe it'll feed into the Superstar...
I think my blood
Supernova sessions on NXT tonight.
I feel like my blood sugar's dropping somewhat.
It's main event time.
Yes.
Tag titles on the line. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. We know how well these guys work together, obviously. Balor has to rake Rhodes' eyes to allow... And the Priest takes the ref as well. To allow him to take over. Jey gets the hot tag. We get yeets all over the places. Every time he hits a strike, it's over.
This is so good. Love watching Jey Uso to me, man.
Balor...
Look at your face!
Hard day, I was going to say hard day at work. I don't know work here. But like, have a hard day with the kids on a Sunday or something. Just finally get them to bed. Just sing on Jey Uso for half an hour. His entrance.
The entrance is ridiculously,
everybody's trying to eat when he does his punches and that.
Face!
That's why this is wrestling. This is wrestling. Like, making noise to this daft bollocks and just being totally engaged in what is fundamentally nonsense. I'll take this over 20 great matches. Like, just a frigging noise in the party of it all. Like, that's the venue I want to be in. It's like all those people.
You would go to this Raw.
Well, yeah, man. Like, all those people for like...
Sucked!
You get to see, like, all the heroes.
All the heroes. God, like, it's like podcasting with an 8-year-old.
Balor makes a
really good.
Balor makes a blind tag.
Familiar.
Joe...
I don't know what's good.
Jey gets clotheslined out of the ring. Jey gets chucked over the announce table to take us to another break. We come back. Rhodes gets the hot tag. Power slam to Balor. Disaster kick. Bionic elbow to Priest. Super kicks Balor, but Balor blocks the Cody cutter. He sets up for the crossroads.
Fallen Troop, sorry.
Does Cody. Balor blocks that too, brings in Priest. Jey hits Priest with a flying crossbody. Super kicks Priest, and Balor hits Priest with an Uso splash for 2. Jey avoids the chokeslam. Super kicks Priest, and Priest gets hit with a crossroads from Cody. Jey spears Balor. and they hit their 1D Cody cutter. I genuinely thought, oh my God, they're winning the tag titles back. But Priest, right at the last second, breaks up the cover. Rhodes hits Priest with a suicide dive, but Priest shoves him into the ring post, which sort of breaks.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but it was
a toy.
Awesome.
All right, it was awesome. Okay.
Cover and broke off. I liked it. I thought it made it all busting.
Looks like a bit of toy had come off the toy.
Priest chokeslams Rhodes onto the apron. Jay takes him out both with a flip dive. Chucks Balor back in the ring. He's got him beat. And then suddenly there is Drew McIntyre at ringside. Claymore kick to Jey Uso. Chucks him back in. Balor covers him. 1, 2, 3. Judgment Day retains. And just before we go off the air, Drew's walking up the ramp. Out comes Rhea Ripley. And they shake hands. Drew McIntyre has joined the Judgment Day.
I'll go first because he can send us off on a high. There's a little mark out, bro.
A hi and a goodbye.
A little Mike.
Another great Raw.
Michael Ham's looking at his little match striker moment. Sorry, I've never apologised to you on this podcast. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I just saw some wrestling moves from the same wrestlers in the same combination I've been watching for months on end. I feel like people are forgetting Chicago's a hotbed. Got so many people like in the building. They can't even have a set. Might just have the little bloody WWE logo.
That's what we were looking at in the office the other day. I was showing Sid an old show from that venue where it's just the Fed logo. Because like everybody loves the fucking Fed so much. It was like there's only space for the logo. You have more people in the building. Asses and seats for the Fed.
There's going to be so many people, so many loud people that this is going to feel like the story of the year in that building. So I think it's the absolute epitome of All Right on the Night for me because this was such a blur. The glazing happened. You know, like you've said, there's some moves happening in front of you.
Yeah.
Like it's for me, it's just the glazing where it's just like, rewind it back. I get the moment where I just go like this and go, oh, I just have to rewind it because I've just missed 2 minutes because the glazing has happened.
I don't totally disagree, by the way.
And the Drew thing.
They got me with the 1D coding,
Yeah.
but I'm completely the same. This was very when Roman Reigns and all the Usos were fighting, and the body of the match was so dull for like a hot 5 or 6 minutes on PLE. This was like for a hot minute and a half on TV. This was that for me,
honestly. And I think the Drew thing, right? You know when they do like WWE Top 10 on YouTube, and it's like number 8, number 7.
Yeah.
5. It's like the top 10 betrayals.
yeah.
Like you see the Seth Rollins.
Oh.
Yeah, that one
So
fan
good.
go,
No!
Brilliant.
And all the rest of them. The betrayals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this Drew one. I didn't think it was very good. All that time for like a Claymore kick on the outside. There's no pageantry. There was no the camera didn't go. Not you. You know what I mean? It didn't feel that big after all that time. It was like a bit of a damn squib, I thought. The actual execution of the turn. Just a Claymore on the outside.
I can see where you're coming from. They're typically quite bombastic with these sort of moments, aren't they? Yeah,
I don't think it was.
I like the handshake. Like there's a bit of handshake law with Rhea Ripley as the deal maker. She, she's kind of like Kiana James in a way because she does business.
Danny Deals.
Can't think of it. I was trying to get Rhea Ripley. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can do it.
But like she's done this with Paul Heyman a couple of times now.
Danny Deals in an Australian accent?
Danny bloody deals.
Correct.
Got
there.
So I quite like that. Like that's what she does. It's that reminder of like just the kind of power she holds.
Is Triple H your favourite booker of all time?
Ooh,
HBK for me.
Die.
he's presided
Ghetto
over.
could learn a lot from HBK, I reckon.
He's presided over like 2 separate salvage jobs of my WWE fandom, like twice. So maybe. So yeah, I did quite like that. Like I like the bit with Rhea Ripley. I thought personally was the powerful visual that I can see why you didn't maybe feel was there. The attack itself, like one Claymore. But I guess sometimes you're simplifying, like one Claymore is still enough. It shows you the damage he does. So at least they're saying that, that it's protecting the finisher, if nothing else. He's had to hit that finisher and lose a lot with it of late. That's been his whole deal, isn't it? So I guess they were giving him that. But I did like the sort of union with Rhea Ripley at the top of the ramp. I got what I wanted from my visual there, at least.
Well, let us know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw in the comments
Half and
section.
didn't watch it.
or on X at What Culture WWE. Watch they can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
or Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back later on today to preview the best show of the week, NXT.
He's buzzing about this, by the way.
But for now, it's been the Raw review. My thanks again to Eric Vasquez. You can still submit your 5-star
Happy belated
reviews.
birthday.
My thanks to Hamflett Sidgwick. Thank you for joining
And
us.
the Fraser Cranium son.
And we'll see you soon.